Why should you participate in a challenge that somebody else creates? I have 5 reasons why I think everyone should try a challenge or two in their creative life. Get Messy May is happening over on Instagram, and it's a 31-day challenge. There are 31 artists participating, and every day there is a new prompt to explore. And there's so many great ideas and inspiration. And so go over, check it out, #GetMessyMay. They even have a website, www.getmessymay.com. It's been a challenge because these prompts are outside my box, so to speak, a bit of a stretch for me, very abstract and interpretive. But I keep showing up because I love the idea of the 3 things that they have suggested as the rules. So number 1 rule is, and I've got to look on my paper because I don't want to get it messed up, is show up imperfectly for 31-ish days. I am imperfect. Whew! So that takes the pressure off right there. And 31-ish days could be 1, could be weekly, could be every other. It could be I just show up on the first and the last day. Number 2, embrace the messy middle. So that middle where it's, you haven't just started and it's not finished. And believe you me, I can make some pretty big messes here in the messy junk room. So enjoy it, embrace it. And remember, number 3, more than 0 is enough. So if you just show up and sit in your creative space, that's enough. If you can only doodle or slap some paint on for that day, that's enough. Or if you just get an idea and it just starts to grow and you want to explore it and you just get going and then you're in the zone, that's awesome too. So I love those 3 rules about Get Messy May. Now, I said I had 5 reasons why you should participate in one of these challenges. There are some great collaborations happening and some really creative people. Do you remember when you were little? See, I believe that we're all creative, that there's something inside each person that is creative. Whether you call it a creative bone or a creative cell or whatever you want to call it, I think it's in all of us. But what happens is the older we get, the more it's diminished if we do not foster it. And it can happen. I remember my first dabbling in the creative world. I was 4 years old, and all I needed was some dirt, some water, and dandelions. And I had that in abundance in my backyard. I remember making dandelion pies. I'd mix it all up and I'd decorate the tops with the dandelions. I would bake them in the sun on a log, and then I would sell them to the whole neighborhood. We just had a little community. It was like a block. I didn't sell one single pie. But that didn't stop me from making them because it was so much fun to get messy and dirty. And then came school and kindergarten and remembering those, just working with paints and making messes. And it was so much fun. But as I grew, and often is the case, we start to hear messages like, oh, what is that supposed to be? Or, oh, his is much better than yours. Or, oh, that's a good try, but that's not what I'm looking for, Sherry. Go try again. Or that critic inside our minds. This is not good enough. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Look at this. This is awful. No one's going to like this. All of those voices are happening. And what happens is that creative spark gets snuffed right out. Well, we have to work harder at it when we're older. I'm not talking about talent, because let's face it, there are some very talented artists out there in different areas, different hobbies, and we need them too, because I don't think you want to be looking at my dandelion pies all the time, or trying to eat a dandelion pie, or, messy finger painting all the time. We need artists, we need photographers, we need writers, all of those people that have talent and are gifted with a little bit of extra. Should not diminish our creativeness. Here is my top 5 reasons why you should participate in a challenge. Number 1, it challenges you as a creator. Whether you're just starting out, no matter what area you are crafting in or what hobby you're looking in, if you're participating in a challenge, it challenges you. Number 2, it makes you use supplies that you might not use, or use supplies in a different way, or get better at using your supplies. Number 3, the inspiration that comes from other people participating is enormous. And you know what? You might not be able to produce what other people are producing, but that's not the point. You produce something that's uniquely yours, and you create it for the sole purpose of enjoying the process. Create it for an audience of one. It doesn't matter what the rest of the world will think of your art. It's not for them. Number 4, you don't have to come to your creative space and go, I don't know what to do today. And you're looking at your space, whatever that space is, in the messy junk room for me, and you don't know where to start. That often happens. Or you're in a rut and you don't know where to start. Well, when you participate in a challenge, a prompt or 2 are given, and that's where you start. It could be one word, like in Get Messy May: vintage, exploration, location. Good golly, those are very challenging to come up with something. But it's a place to start, and you can just go from there. Sometimes the prompts are more than just a word. It could be 3 things, like I did with the youth last night in the junk journaling program. I gave them 3 bags, and they had to pull out a prompt. And one bag was colors, the other bag was a word, and the other bag was an item. They pulled it out, and that's what they had to create, whether it was a tag, whether it was a page, a journal card, a pocket. They could choose whatever it could be, but they had to use those 3 prompts. Orange, tree, sweet could be the prompts. Or I've also done this in videos where I have a mug filled with prompts, and they're from other people that have put out a prompt list, and I just print them off. I cut them up whenever I get one, and I add them to this mug. And when I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, or I just come to the junk room and it's so messy I can't even think, I pull out a prompt. So this one is a safety pin and a postage stamp. Okay, I could do something with that. I need a little more help though. So I go back into my mug and I pull out another one. Torn edges. I think I want another one. This one is snow, cigarette, or tea cards. Okay, I'm going to stop here. This is plenty for me to get started. It's starting to get me thinking about some things. So those would be my prompts I'd work with on my page. fill up a mug and just keep adding things to it. Even coming up with your own and not relying on somebody else. Like, look at your space right now where you are, whether you have a little space or a big space, and just look at the tools and the supplies that are within arm's reach. And you can create your own prompt list. Paint. Stamp. Scrapbook paper. Playing card. Ink. Oh. Lace. Punches. Do you get the idea? Create your own prompt list of the supplies that you actually have. Because sometimes you may feel that, oh my goodness, I don't have the same supplies. I'm not going to be able to reproduce it. You don't have to reproduce what someone else is doing. You do not have to go out and buy those supplies. Don't fall into that trap. Okay. Now, I should probably practice what I preach, because I'm a hoarder and I love new things and I love shopping for craft supplies. So I probably should shop within my own junk room. But as I was telling my teens last night, there doesn't need to be lots of money spent on this particular hobby of junk journaling. Basic supplies: paper, scissors, glue. Everything else is gravy or icing, depending on which you prefer. And number 5, it's so much fun. Have fun. You have to have fun in what you're creating, or you're not going to show up to create. And the more you show up and the more you create, the more you create. Creating is so good for our mental health. And sometimes you're just showing up and you don't know what to do. Or in my case, I'm in so much pain from fibromyalgia and arthritis in my hands now that I can't even use the scissors because it hurts my hand. Do what you can, but make it fun. And fun could just be finger painting, or punching out shapes, or ripping up paper for projects later, or tea dyeing. Like, I love tea dyeing. You don't need to go get inks for the tea dye, stain inks and stuff. Just boil yourself a kettle, get your tea bag, get a cup, pour yourself a cup of tea, and then bring that wet tea bag and just drop it onto your page, and it makes these beautiful splatters everywhere. How fun is that? Or think about those things that maybe you did when you were younger, those early years where there was finger painting, there was different things you could play with. You would put some paint on one side of the page and you'd fold it over and you squish it all around, and the teacher would explain that this is mirroring and, reflection and all those technical terms that 5-year-olds don't really understand. They just understand it's messy and it's fun. Blowing bubbles. Do you remember blowing bubbles? Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Get yourself a cup, dish soap, a straw, and if you have some ink, put some ink in it. Food coloring, paint, thin it down and blow bubbles, and get some paper and just have fun. Those prints of bubbles are amazing. Use the same straw and the same materials, only this time blow the paint or the inks around on your page. Don't pass out from blowing in your straw. But it's so much fun when you can just let yourself go and be creative. Give yourself permission to say, you know what? I don't have to produce a beautiful end product. Those are my top 5 reasons why I think you should participate. There's probably many, many more, and you probably could come up with your own. So tell me, why do you think it's important to participate in a challenge or come up with your own ideas and prompts. I'm giving you permission to just play with your materials, whether you have a lot or you don't have very many. And I'm going to try to do another prompt for Messy May, because there's still a week and a bit left where I can get some of these prompts done. So go play, get messy, have fun. And welcome to the Messy Junk Room, where we create whatever. The prompts that I want to work with is location and a little bit of curiosity if this is going to work. Gathering my supplies. So I've gathered some dandelions and some other little flowers that I found on my walk. And I think that's the 3 that I'm gonna work with in my Messy May journal. So this was the prologue, Nourish, Enchanted, Blooming, Marks, Open, Shadow, Botanical, and Vintage. I was talking about dandelions, and so on my walk with my dog, there's a few left, not very many left right now. I didn't get to them soon enough. But my location, I went to the other day, one of our beautiful parks here in St. Thomas called Waterworks Park. I'll put some pictures in to show you. It's water and like ponds, and you walk around and there's a few places to sit. And so that was the location. What I noticed the most was the greenery and yellow. So I want to make something to reflect that. Oh, look, reflect. I'm going to actually try it in here, just because I don't know how this will work. So this is the curiosity after gathering my supplies, because I remember that when you use dandelions, it creates yellow. Look at that. Yes. Squeeze it all out. And I'm thinking, oh, let's just pick a page, any page. I want to just play with some green paint, all different shades of green. I'm using just cheap paint from the dollar store. I've got hunter green, Christmas green, leaf green, appropriate. It just says green. And then I have yellow. And then this is, daffodil yellow. Oh, and there's this one, which is vivid yellow. So we need a paintbrush, and I'm no artist. I am not. But I'm just going to have fun playing. I don't know how to make leaves. I don't have enough space for everything. So over there, I have my 5x7 jelly plate. Not that I'm jelly printing, but it's over here so I can just put the paint on it, because I don't want the
paint to be absorbed in like a piece of paper. So I'm just going to put all these greens out to see what I have. What one might be my favorite. Ooh, that's pretty. Try some of this too. I think this is, see some, ooh, it's leaking. Okay. The seal broke. Okay. So just do that. So I'll show you, there's the greens that I'm working with. All right, let's just put some green lines. Do we like it so far? Put some abstract leaves on. Oh, don't even try to make leaves. Just kind of put a point on or something. Better get some leaves down here. And the greens are all mixing now, and I'm good with that. Some of my leaves look like leaves, and then some of them, I don't know. I'm like, what is that? And how many leaves does one stem need? I don't know. Make sure they all got something. Reminds me of Jack and the Beanstalk. Or do these look more like thorns? I don't know. Maybe get some down here. I'm thinking that might be good. And then maybe some grass, because there's lots of grass. Had to be careful where you're walking because of the Canadian geese that live there. I did see a few frogs, but they were camouflaged in the water lilies, and they were green. It's a very beautiful park, and it's close to where I work, so I hope I can get there a little bit more often. Add some different colors in the stems. You need a leaf there. Ooh, I'll make that a little bit thicker. What would happen if I used these real ones? maybe in between. Like if I glue them down, I didn't get very many of these. Or could I actually use the flowers? Like that. Oh, I got a couple more. And maybe that one can go there. And this can go there. And this could go there. Okay, and I'll use the dandelions over somewhere else, because those would be too hard to glue down. I think if I use my matte medium, this might work. So first, I kind of want it down there. So if I cover up, that's a lot. I think I need a brush. I put that down like that. I should have pressed it first. I know, but I wasn't thinking, because I just got them. Whoops, sure. Oh no, oh no. Okay, that's fine. It'll just look like the leaves are coming off, or the petals, which they are, and there's little bugs in this. So I'm just kind of tapping mixed media on, pushing it down a little bit. Okay. Get this little one on. Maybe put it here. I don't think that one's gonna work. I'm going to dump some of this on the side here. So good idea to probably press them first. These are very fresh. I just picked up on my walk. But sometimes when you change your location, it sparks something. So that was a really good prompt. And I appreciated that prompt, because after my time at the park, I was like, yes, I want to get creating. Oh, there's bugs everywhere. So if you don't like bugs, oh, fresh flowers might not be for you. It's stuck on the paint. Okay, so there. Let's get it all I'm gonna have to put this one over a little bit more, although that's not gonna work because it's right in the middle. But it doesn't, it, it just wants to stay there. Okay. The other flowers will come in with vivid yellow. Yeah, come in with some vivid yellow. I'm going to, again, just put it on the gel plate. So your paints don't have to be expensive. You could do this with water paints too. So I'm just gonna kind of make some bigger flowers here. And I think I'm just gonna stick to the yellow because that's what I saw was the yellow flowers. Those are kind of blending into each other. Maybe put some little yellow flowers in the grass. Oh, maybe these are the dandelions. So I'll continue to make sure these are covered well. And then once it's dried, I will put them under heavy book so that they can flatten out. And then maybe go back in with the matte medium. So location was the park where I saw lots of greens and yellows because the flowers aren't in bloom yet there. I gathered my flowers and dandelions, so I gathered my materials, and then I was curious about how the dandelions would leave marks and if I can use these yellow real flowers on a page like this. Enjoy this little piece of solitude from my time at the park. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.